everyone. This is Truth, Grace, Love. Thanks for watching. In the last episodes, we've been speaking about your value to God, how much you're worth to Him. We've been speaking about your purpose, what God has placed in you to be lived out here on earth. And I said that in this last installment, we would speak about where and why. The first one I'll address is the where, because it's very simple. Here on earth, for many of us who know God, we understand that He's got an ultimate purpose for us, and that in heaven we're going to experience peace, and that we're going to experience tranquility, and that there's going to be no suffering and blessings and favor and everything else. But what we don't realize is that those very things can be experienced here on earth. You can live a blessed life. You can have favor on your life. You can have peace that surpasses all understanding, and you can make sound decisions, and that you can have a life without suffering. Now, I'm not saying that you're not going to go through your occasional problems. I'm not saying that life isn't going to throw curveballs at you. I'm not saying that everything is going to happen exactly how you want it to happen when you want it to happen. But what I am telling you is that life, that abundant life, that blessed life, that favored life that God speaks about in His Bible, full of peace that surpasses all understanding, is accessible here, now. Now, the last part is the why. Why are we here on earth? Why did God give us purpose? Why did He give His life for us? Why did all of this happen? The answer is relationship. That's His goal. That is the why this is all happening. That is the why we exist. That is the why everything is gone, so that we can have relationship with Him. And the reason that we're going through this journey we call life is so that He can get us back to Him. You see, when that original sin happened, when that first action was taken that made us be separated from God, God could have very well said, you know what, let me just rewind time, start things over, and let's do a take two. But He loved us so much that throughout this journey that we call life, through this existence, He wove in His plan of salvation. He planted Himself as a man into our circumstances. And He did the things that He required us to do but knew we couldn't. He did it Himself for us. He gave His life. He did everything that He knew that we couldn't do through His Son, Jesus Christ. That way He would provide a door back into relationship with Him. But not only is it about you getting back into relationship with God, but it's about everyone getting back into relationship with God. And that's why God has given us individually each a purpose. There is something inside of us that is extremely valuable, so valuable that God gave His life, that we need to work out here on earth, that not only will bring us closer to Him, but will bring those around us closer to Him. You shining your light on this planet through your calling, through your purpose, through your value, and walking out your salvation through Jesus Christ will win more souls than any church, than any religion, than anything on this planet will ever do. And don't get me wrong, I'm not against churches, but the reason I started this channel was because there is too much religion in this world. There's too much false Christianity in this world right now. There are too many churches out there that are full of people who are not growing, who are not learning, who are not truly being introduced to Jesus Christ. We have too many people out there who are being bound by religion, who are being kept away from Jesus by being in this building every Sunday morning. Church has become this social gathering, this cultural club where everyone comes dressed to the nines, and they want to show off their new cars, and they want to shout the preacher down, and they want to listen to a word from God. But as soon as they leave that building, real life takes over, and there is no change, there is no growth. They are not representing the kingdom of God, and people look at them and they call them hypocrites. And because of that, we have a generation full of people that would rather listen to the media, that would rather listen to cartoons and movies than they would to any Christian person that's going to talk to them. If you think about it, when I mention Jesus Christ, when I mention His blood, his sacrifice. When I mention the cross, the first thing that comes to mind is the myriad of things that come from the media that have made fun of it, that have downplayed it, that have pointed those terms out to be Jesus freak terminology, that have pointed those things out to be crazies. The people who talk about Jesus' blood are crazy. Yet people have a very easy time loving the fact that in Harry Potter they talk about how precious his blood is. And there's no problem there. But when we talk about the blood of Christ, everyone's up in arms and the craziness are coming out. And that happens because our very own people that call themselves Christian are doing a better job for the devil than they are for God. Religion is the devil's gospel. It is bondage. Everywhere I turn, everybody who I talk to, all I hear is, oh, well, I'm just not good enough yet to be a Christian. I have to change my life. I have to do this. I have to do that to give my life to Jesus Christ. Oh, I don't feel comfortable in church because people look at me a certain way and all this stuff. And all I hear is the devil pushing people away through our very own name, through our very own buildings, through our very own programs and everything that we have. So yes, you on your own, living out the life that God called you to live and being that light that shines that's different to everybody else will do a far greater job than any of those situations will ever do for the kingdom. And if the things that you're doing and the actions that you're taking and if going to church and if listening to people talk and if reading the Bible isn't bringing you closer to God, then you're practicing religion and you're not living the life abundant. You see, just because you go to church or just because you call yourself a Christian, and even so, just because you read the Bible doesn't mean that you've been born again and that you have a relationship with Jesus Christ. There's another term that I say it, born again, and instantly I guarantee you thought of maybe 2 or 3 jokes or things in the media that have made that statement ridiculous. And truly, if you think that I'm talking about really being born again, like going into your mother's womb and coming out again, it is ridiculous because that's not what we're talking about, and that's not what Jesus is talking about in the Bible. He's talking about being spiritually born again, giving a second chance, changed completely, starting over again, 180, Control-Alt-Delete. Boom, reset, reboot. That's what he's talking about in a spiritual realm. And the only way that happens is when you come face to face with Jesus Christ. He will make that change. You don't need to change anything. You don't need to leave anything. You don't need to stop doing anything that you're doing. You don't need to dress a certain way. You don't need to say certain things. You don't need to do anything other than take the first step of believing that he is the Son of God and walking forward into that. Everything else will be done by him. Now people say, oh, you're preaching grace and you have to be careful because then that'll give people license to sin. Let me tell you something. Newsflash. People are sinning with or without license. It's going to happen. Okay? Understand that. It has nothing to do with that. All right? Yes, once you come to Christ and once he comes into your life, change will happen. And if it doesn't happen, then there's something wrong there. And no one's saying that that's okay. No one's saying that becoming a Christian and remaining in the same lifestyle and doing the things that are wrong is okay. That's not okay. But what we are saying is that there is nothing that you have to do to take that first step. There is nothing that you can do. You can't break that bondage, that addiction, those problems on your own. Because let me tell you, you're at this point with those situations, and I guarantee you've tried to stop them and you haven't been able to. God will do that in your life, not religion. That's the problem with a lot of people. That's when you can really tell that you don't have a relationship with Jesus Christ because your feelings, your emotions, your happiness, your joy is all situational. Depending on what's going on, if the bank account has zeros in it, not in the right side of the decimal point, if things aren't going the way that you want them to go, if you're not getting the answers you're getting, if just things are just falling apart in your life, you're not happy and you're depressed, and that pollutes the way that you think, and that puts you into a different state where you cannot be clear-minded and make correct decisions. But if you're living in revelation, you understand that the fullness of joy, happiness, and the way that you look at life all depends on God and Jesus Christ. And God and Jesus Christ are unshakable, unchangeable, unmovable. They'll always be there. The Bible says that they will never leave you or forsake you. So if you have that revelation, you understand that no matter what's going on around you, you understand that no matter if the world is falling apart around you, no matter if everything is telling you no, if every door is being closed, you realize that your joy and your happiness and your future lies in God. And no one's going to take that away. Don't be caught in the situation, but live your life in the revelation of who Jesus Christ is. And Jesus Christ is life abundant. Once again, if this blessed you, please share, please subscribe for more. This is only the 4th video, but I'm going to be uploading a lot more. There'll be a lot more content, and I know it'll bless your life. Believe me, it's been blessing me tremendously. God's really moving in my life, and he's moving in the things around my life, and you'll hear about it soon. Don't forget to follow me on Instagram, on Facebook, on Periscope, and on Snapchat. Everything will be linked down below. Don't forget, Jesus loves you. God is in control, and keep working towards that relationship with him. That's it. See you next time.
Girls, I know it hurts to lose your guy.